No,
Oh,
is that not appropriate?
well, it can't be.
Am I too early?
Go ahead and talk and just say something like just talk normally like you would.
Well, the nice thing about Christmas candy is that it's not necessarily Halloween candy, but it's candy shaped as Santa Claus. And if you ask me, if it's shaped like Santa Claus, it's probably yummy.
Okay, and I'm now adjusting my mic as well. Hold on, that was a little hot. I am now adjusting my mic so that I sound very similar to you, and then Virginia is going to basically come off of your track, your virtual track. It's kind of cool because on my sliders I've got USB. I have one that says line in. I have one that says Audacity if I want to play a track from Audacity, and then when I have a track slider that says Danny.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
All right, let's get rocking and rolling.
All right, so let's just give you want to go ahead and just start sharing really quick while
I've already 10 steps ahead of you, homeboy.
Okay. Then want me to go ahead and play our minute worth of stuff?
You absolutely can.
Okay. Here we go. So after the Trader Sam's, okay.
Tired of waking up at 2 a.m. to get reservations for dining on your next Disney trip that's still 6 months away? Well, head on over to mousemastertravel.com and let them take care of everything while you sit back and relax and wait for your next trip. That's mousemastertravel.com. Why not brew your happy place? That's right. Trader Sam's Coffee Company is the artisanal roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some magic at your home? Some of their coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, Red-Headed Rum, and of course, so many other unique roasts.
Actually, we got to do that again. Give me 1 second, because I didn't hit the record button on the mixer.
Do you want me just to spell them out then real quick?
No, I already reset it, so
okay.
This will be done in a second. All right, so here we go. We're going to begin the recording track after I say now.
Tired of waking up at 2 a.m. to get reservations for dining on your next Disney trip that's still 6 months away? Well, head on over to mousemastertravel.com and let them take care of everything while you sit back and relax and wait for your next trip. That's mousemastertravel.com. Why not brew your happy place? That's right. Trader Sam's Coffee Company is the artisanal roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some magic at your home? Some of their coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, Red-Headed Rum, and of course, so many other unique roasts. Their coffees are certified gluten and allergen-free and feature unique custom artwork by guest artists. Trader Sam's Coffee Company offers Red-Headed Rum, and of course, so start your adventure off today by visiting them online at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. And the Behind the Ears podcast. Well, we're having some technical difficulties, but it is okay. Coconut and coffee? Yes, it is. As you all know, our staple of sponsors are Trader Sam's Coffee with a variety of coffee flavors, allergen-free, gluten-free. They have fantastic packaging. They like to brew, an adventure in every bag, so why not start off today? Also, mousemastertravel.com for all your Disney destination vacations. Why not head over there and book your next vacation? That's mousemastertravel.com. VIP member? You might be saying, I'm a VIP member of what? Well, that's Streaming the Magic. Become a VIP member today by simply spending only $5 a month to get exclusive streams only for Streaming the Magic. And also you get a special show every Thursday night. Hey, tonight's Thursday. That's right. After our normal show tonight, we do our VIP show. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to Behind the Ears Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I am Uncle Danny. The man tapping on the other side of the glass is Mr. Chris. We have a special guest clawing to get her way onto the show tonight. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a little Disneyland Paris. You might say, hey, Uncle Danny, have you been to Paris? And I would say no. You might say, hey, Mr. Chris, have you been to Paris? And I bet you he would say no. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have a special guest who has been to Disneyland Paris. That is Miss Virginia. Miss Virginia, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm really
Oh,
excited to be here.
thanks for joining us. Everybody who stopped in last night to watch our little test, unfortunately, I was not able to join, but thank you all for doing that. Mr. Chris did a bang up job. I was able to watch it today, but that's not why you guys came. You didn't come here to talk to me. You didn't come here to talk to the guy above me. You came to talk to her. Sorry, I almost pointed the wrong way. So
You're never going to get that right. What's his face?
I'm just gonna start doing this so you all know where the other person is. It's somewhere in this vicinity. It's jazz hands. So Virginia, let's start with this. How long was the flight?
Well, I actually flew from Spain because when I went, I was studying abroad in Spain. And so I got like this really cheap flight from Madrid to Paris. It was like an hour and a half. There was a dog sitting next to me. So
Was it a cute dog? That's the real question.
it was really adorable, actually.
See, then that flight was a-okay in my book. Okay, so it seemed like this was more of an impromptu type of trip. You weren't only over there to see Disneyland Paris. So how many days were you available to visit the parks?
One. And I hit both parks and downtown Disney.
Wow.
All
Oh,
one day. Now,
All in one day.
there's a little bit of a backstory here. You see,
Yeah.
um, for those of you who are listening or watching and don't know, Virginia is my daughter. Um,
what?
I know. Seriously, it's one of those things.
That's her look
So
from her mother, I promise you.
obviously she obviously there's just no doubt in my mind. So basically it's like this. The really cool part is that she was already out there, and the problem of it is that while she was out there, she was trying to do different excursions and so on and so forth. She was really trying to not only study extraordinarily hard out there and really get the full culture experience, but she kind of had a crap experience on a weekend with a bunch of people that, it just wasn't a cool experience. And I know that she wanted to go to Disneyland Paris. So I said, Verge, if you want to go, I will pay for the flight for you to go to Disneyland Paris if you want to take care of the other things. And so we took care of the ticket and everything else like that. We actually emailed her the e-ticket, and she printed it out at her host mom's house and everything like that. And then she flew to Paris. And the funny part about it is that I'm trying to buy her this plane ticket, and everything is like in euros. And and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like you're trying to figure out how much is this really costing me? Anyway, it was still a really cheap flight, but I knew that she was only going to basically have a weekend up there. So, Verge, why don't you tell us a little bit about just getting to Paris? Like, once you're at Paris, how did you get to the parks, and did you actually have a game plan on attacking it? Since you did a lot in less than a 24-hour period of time.
Oh yeah, so I went with this one other girl that was studying abroad with me, and she was actually a part of the Disney College program. So she was also a Disney lover. So we were like, let's go. So we skipped out on class for a day, which is okay. We were allowed to skip 3 classes, so we chose that as one of our skip days. And we went to the airport, got to Paris, and we were like, all right, now what? How are we going to get to our hotel? Unfortunately, not the Disney hotel because that had to come out of my pocket and Virginia has no money. So it was like a cheap hotel that was actually pretty close, but still not the Disney hotel there, but that's okay. So we actually ended up taking a taxi to our hotel, and then we found a bus station within 2 blocks, or not a bus station, but like a little metro kind of thing. And we were able to take that metro straight to Disneyland Paris, right to the opening. So that's how we got there.
Do you remember how much that cost you, out of curiosity?
We got like a bulk ticket, so we got like 10 trips on the same ticket. I don't remember exactly how much it cost, but we knew that we wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower. We wanted to go see the Mona Lisa, so we were like, all right, we're going to take a few trips. So we just got like a bulk thing, and it like ended up being cheaper to do it that way than to like buy like a one-way.
Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so, what time did you actually arrive at the gates of Disneyland Paris?
We got there like 20 minutes before rope drop, and Hollywood Studios, or like their version of it, opened an hour earlier than their Magic Kingdom. So our game plan was to start there so we were there like before rope drop, and then we were there for about half the day, and then we switched over to like their Magic Kingdom, and we closed out the park there, and then Disney, like their downtown Disney area, was open a little bit later than that. So then we actually stayed so long that we missed our train back home, like the last one. So that was fun.
Oh boy,
That sounds like
I mean, and keep in mind, Danny, I'm not finding a lot of this stuff out until after the fact. I was already nervous, as you know, Dad had his little girl all the way halfway around the world type of thing, but I was calm, I was cool, you know, I was chill about it. So why don't you tell us about what was one of your first big impressions as you walked through the gate and you're like, wow, you're there. What was some of the things that you saw that really caught your eye? Some of the things you did that really caught your eye, caught your attention.
So when we first got off the metro, it was like the entrance to one park was like on your right. The entrance to the other park was straight ahead of you. And then downtown Disney was like on your left. So it wasn't like Disney World where like they're all spread apart. You have to like take a bus like from one to the other. It was like the two entrances were right next to each other.
That's almost like how it is at, Disneyland out in California, where you walk through security. On one side is California Adventure, the other side is Disneyland, and of course, right next to it is downtown Disney and the Disneyland hotels, and on the other side of security, on like the other security entrance, is like all the Good Neighbor hotels and stuff like that. So that sounds very familiar to me, having been to Disneyland on California, which, by the way, Virginia hasn't been out there yet. But hey, I think she earns additional points from going out to Paris.
So it basically sounds like it's almost built like Universal, though, too. Like everything is supposed to be center circle, and you can get to anything within a few minutes of just walking.
That sounds.
Yeah. Now I know not to get off on a tangent on this, but I'm gonna. I like that concept, and I thought I really liked that concept, especially after visiting Universal. But then after driving through Universal the other day, I realized how much we take for granted in Disney. Because when you're in Universal, you still see people going to work, you still see people driving around. There's other things going on literally right outside the Hulk. When you go to Disney World, you really are on like your own little island. You are so separated from the rest of the world. I like it. But back to the Paris story. I'm just rambling. So now, how did they integrate English? Was English the majority speaking or the minority? Did they have everything in both French and English? How'd that work?
So most of the things actually had a pretty cool setup where they would like kind of talk to each other in alternate languages. So like, for example, I went to the live Frozen show. And so Anna and Elsa would come out, and Anna would say something in French, and then Elsa would be like, "That's right, Anna, like, we are going to have a great time today." You know what I mean? So, like, you knew what the other one was saying, because they would kind of, like, repeat each other in the other language.
So a little bit of bilingual going on. And how about all the shops and everything? Was everything written in French, or how, like, the packaging if you wanted to buy, cookies or something?
Yeah, it was mostly both.
Okay.
I don't think I saw a whole lot that was like only French. It was mostly both.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, let me see. Was there anything that you saw that was done better in Paris than in Disney World?
I mean, Paris had Crush's coaster, so that was awesome.
Now, Go ahead. I think I know what you're going to say, Danny. You and I are probably thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
Well, Paris is the first one to change over the Pirates of the Caribbean to get rid of the redhead. That's where my mind was going.
That was recent, but...
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to throw that out there. Where did you think I was going? Because obviously that wasn't it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about the comparison between Crush's coaster and the Slinky coaster ride that we're supposed to be getting.
Oh, are they very similar? I've actually never studied anything going on in Disneyland Paris.
I
So from the
heard.
picture that I've seen of like the Slinky like going to Disney World, the cars look the exact same as Paris.
Hmm.
Yeah, as
So,
the Slinky, you mean the Slinky ride looks very similar to um,
Crush.
Crush. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
not at
okay.
all.
Never. Is there?
Oh,
Was
they have
there?
a Slinky ride. You're saying in Paris?
Yes, there was a Slinky ride in Paris.
Interesting.
Did you go on that?
I did not.
Okay, because the thing is that I think it's supposed to be really pretty. I think it's going to be really pretty cool, and Uncle Danny over there doesn't necessarily think it's going to be that cool.
The Slinky ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, have you like been to like a fair where they have like that one ride that just kind of like goes around in a circle and then it gets a little bit faster and then it'll stop and then it'll kind of like go backwards, but like it really is it's just a circle. You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
yes, I know exactly what you're
That's
saying.
what Slinky ride was.
Here's the
Okay.
thing, though. After seeing the model over in One Man's Dream and actually seeing the coaster with my own eyes, it's not a very like it. Depending on the speed, I know there's a second pickup for speed on the Slinky ride in Disney World. There's some pretty crazy bends for a family-friendly coaster. So I'm not changing. I'm gonna wait till opening day to make a firm opinion, but that's neither here nor there. Now I've got a map pulled up here of Disneyland Paris, and I do actually like the setup here. I'm seeing about 5 hotels. Okay, 5 hotels. I'm trying to get. Oh wow, there's actually no more than that. Okay, so they have a Disney World now. I'm curious if this is something that we're gonna see. Their thing is called Walt Disney Studios Park, so I'm wondering if we'll see an overlay with that. They do have a Tower Terror. They have a back lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't do the back lot, but I did do Tower of Terror, and it was pretty much the same thing.
Okay, and it does look like they have a stunt spectacular. I don't have a list. I'm looking just at a picture of a map.
Yeah, they have Lights, Motors, Action, and I really wanted to go on that, but like the shows were so long, and like I said, we hit everything in one day, so like we kind of had to pick and choose.
Now it looks
You
like they.
You kind of picked and chosen the things that you wouldn't normally find at Walt Disney World though.
Yeah, right. The first thing we did was Crush's Coaster because that's not something you find at Disney World, and that was like really awesome. It's kind of like a mixture of Primeval Whirl with some Space Mountain.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that sounds unique. Like it kind of spun you around a little bit.
The car was a turtle shell, but it kind of reminded me of Toy Story Midway Mania, where it's like the 4 people and like back to back kind of thing.
Mhm.
And but it was a turtle shell, and then it kind of did like the spinny thing that Crush's Coast or that Primeval World does, but it was more roller coastery and kind of like in the dark a little bit, kind of like you're under the sea, kind of like Space Mountain. So it was like a mixture of the two.
So what I'm saying is all right, so the Slinky ride she's referring to is called the Zigzag Spin. And if anybody's been, maybe this will help with this. Have you ever been on like the old pirate ships at like Six Flags that, they just swing back and forth like this? That's exactly what this is. If I'm looking at this correctly, it's called the RC Razor, and it's the RC. Oh wait, no, that's different from the Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin. Okay, they have a playground. They've got a giant Buzz Lightyear. Is he big?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of that, Danny.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that was. Okay, yeah, he looks cool.
Yep, I have a picture of myself by that giant Buzz Lightyear. So
Okay, and it looks like they have a Toon Studio. Is that something to do with Cars? Yeah, they do have a Cars right there.
they have a Cars Land.
All right, that's pretty cool. So it looks like some flying carpets.
We walked through Cars Land and the Toy Story Land, but we didn't actually ride anything because it was a lot of more little kid rides. So
now,
walked through?
Were you able to go in this Walt Disney Studios building with the restaurants inside?
Yeah,
that looks super cool.
That's actually how you get into the park. Like after security and stuff, then there's like a statue of Sorcerer Mickey, and then like some brooms by him.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Through that building to get like to the rest of the park.
And now, if anybody doesn't know what this building is, it's a giant, I want to say like a giant hangar. And they have it decorated like you're walking down a street of Hollywood. They got stars and the lights. They have a
The Brown
background drop.
Derby's in there. Hollywood
they-
and Vine is in there.
They have a pharmacy in there?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's like an actual like pharmacy or if it's just like decorated like one. I don't know.
They've
But
got
yeah.
2 clubs, the Hep Cat Club, the Leaky Tiki, Last Chance Gas, the Gossip Column, Hollywood, Vine and Five and Dime, the Brown Derby, like she said, Alexandria Theater, and another cosmetics. That is super cool. And it looks like they have a Monsters Inc. on the side of that. Were you able
They
to do
do.
that?
It's just a little photo op area. It's just got like a door and it's got like the little yellow men that are from the CIA, you
Oh,
know?
that's super cool.
And
No,
it's just
CDA, the Child Detection Agency.
CPA. And you just go like take pictures by it. So I have pictures by it. But that's just a photo op area.
So moving into the Main Street area, it looks very similar. Is this I guess that would be a haunted mansion, right?
Phantom Manor is in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I happen to be looking at. Were you able to ride that?
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
It was almost the same as Haunted Mansion.
That's a bit of a
Yeah.
letdown. Okay.
But like the outside looked more like a haunted house than it did like a really cool big mansion like it is here. So like the outside looked a lot different.
Okay, and looks like they have the Frontierland, which that roller coaster is on an island. That's
The
really
Big Thunder
cool.
Mountain Railroad is on an island, and I didn't get a chance to ride it because the line for that was so long. But
That's got to be a logistical nightmare trying to get people back and forth across.
we never actually like. I'm not actually sure like how you get over there. Like I'm not sure if it's like a little raft like Tom Sawyer Island.
It looks like it's a little bit bigger of a boat, but not much bigger. Now, Chris, if you have a question, please jump in and ask because I'm just fascinated by this.
No, go right ahead. You're doing a fabulous job with this. Well, Danny, you do know there's something that you're going to have to hit eventually, and I'm just going to go ahead and chime in.
Okay.
How's the food?
Oh, I haven't even gotten that. I was saving that for last. I figured that was the chunk of our
Actually, it's
conversation.
gonna be such a letdown. It'll be a letdown. You want to just do it now?
Yeah, let's just get it over with.
Yeah. So we ate only once while we were there.
Okay.
And we ate at like a little Blockbuster, I think it was called, area. It was right outside of Rock and Roller Coaster, which, by the way, was kind of a letdown because they did not play a single Aerosmith song when I wrote it. So, like, whatever, right?
Travel tens of thousands of miles and no Aerosmith.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. So we actually ate there, and it was just like this little like buffet, not buffet, where you like go up and like just get a plate of something, and then you check out, you know. So I didn't get anything too special, but I did order a drink at one point, and I got it in a Paris mug, and I was expecting them to put the drink inside of the mug, and what they did was they gave me the mug and then gave me a drink, like in a plastic cup.
Ooh.
So you didn't have to worry about washing it out.
But I wanted the drink inside of the mug.
That's true.
Like,
Okay, so back to the hard questions here. Did you ride this Indiana Jones roller coaster?
it was down.
Oh, it looks so cool.
Yeah, I think it broke down actually like right before we got there.
Oh my god, they got a Pirates Beach? That's awesome. It looks huge.
It was pretty cool.
Adventure. Now, I see that there's a giant tree. Would you more say this tree on Adventure Island right next to a smoking section? Would that be a tree that is more Animal Kingdom size or more like the tree you would find in Disney World? Inside Magic Kingdom, I apologize. Not Tom Sawyer's Island. Swiss Family Tree has.
Yeah, it's more like that.
More like that. Okay, because the way they made it on the picture, on the map, the virtual map, looks huge.
I don't remember it being that big.
Okay, they look like they. You know what? They have a nice Mediterranean section. It looks like. Might be wrong. It looks they got over by Aladdin. They've got a bunch of cuisine over there that kind of piqued my interest there. They are big in the Pirates of the Caribbean, though, huh?
Yeah, we got our picture taken on Pirates, and like I wasn't even posing for the picture because I wasn't expecting that.
Like their show building is huge, and it looks like a castle on the outside. That's cool. Okay. All right. So Peter Pan's flight. Did you do it?
No.
Thank goodness. Good morning, that line.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna waste my time with that, you know.
Wow, they have an Alice Curious Labyrinth, and it looks like it's
Yes.
like a maze.
Yes, I actually did that.
Is it real grass or fake grass? Well, it had to be fake grass for you.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
fake.
More maintaining too. What was it difficult or was it pretty easy?
It wasn't that bad. We kind of just walked through to like see all of the different things that were going on because they had like the different characters kind of throughout it. They had like the little door there, so I have like a picture of like myself by like the little miniature door that was there. And then when you finally like make it to the end, there's like the cards, and they kind of make a little what do they call those things? Like a little thing that you like walk under, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little
Now,
arch.
An archway. Okay.
Hmm.
basically parallel to that, is there looks like there's another castle, but I'm assuming it's like Sleeping Beauties where you can't actually get to it type of thing up
No,
on
you
a
can totally go up there.
really because I do not see a way to get up to it.
Yeah, so once you like finish the whole maze, like the little archway goes into the castle, like the little castle thing.
Oh no,
And
I apologize. Leaving that the maze. If you go under the railroad bridge and you start heading into, I guess nothing's in English, so I don't want to butcher this, but the Les Pays des Contest des Fees. I'm assuming it's a child's area because there's a Casey's Junior section over there, and there's another train, and there's another castle, basically behind Small World. Could
I
it be
think
new
part of
since
the area
last
that was
time?
closed off there. They had
Okay.
Small World and like that area closed off for like refurbs and stuff.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it looks like they built a very decently sized castle, but it is surrounded by, well, it's built up on rocks and surrounded by railroad tracks. So I was assuming you couldn't get to it. So we could just move right on by. Did you do It's a Small World?
It was down
Oh,
for refurbishment.
it looks huge. It looks more like the DL style than Disney World's. Like it has the exterior facade and everything. It looks actually very nice. I still wouldn't go on it. Oh my God, there's another Buzz.
I
All
did
right.
do the buzz there.
How's that Buzz Lightyear's? This one's the Laser Blast.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
I
Okay.
have like a picture of my score. It wasn't very good, but I took a picture of it.
And for anybody, I know people were asking. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Sleeping Beauty's castle, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's more like a half castle. So like the one half is like a normal castle, and then the left half, if you're like looking straight at it, the left half kind of fades into like a rocky, grassy terrain, I guess.
Ooh.
And amongst the rocks, there's like a cave, and so you can actually go inside of this like little cave area, and the Maleficent dragon is there. And so she was like kind of like sleeping for a little bit, and then if you like stay there long enough, she'll like wake up and like, you know, move her head and open up her mouth and kind of thing.
Wow, that's really interesting. Were you able to do the Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain?
Star Wars hyperspace, not like Star Tours.
I don't know. It's what it says. It's next to like a giant boat in the water.
Space Mountain 2?
Well, let's see. Back here is Starport.
I was gonna say it may have changed a little bit since then. 'Cause that was 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
that's what I was trying to see, like what was new for her compared when she went. Because I see in the back spot, right, there was a restaurant called the Arcade Alpha and Arcade Beta, And then if you keep walking past that, they have the starport, and I don't know what the name. What are the planes that these people drive in Star Wars? With the X-wings or whatever?
Yeah, the X-wing fighters.
Okay, yeah, and it's got R2-D2 built into the top of it.
I did ride Star Tours,
Okay.
just like here. But the big surprise was I rode Space Mountain. And so we were expecting like Space Mountain here, right? And we get into like our little cars and it has like this over the head harness thing and we're like,
Ooh.
that's weird. Why is there a harness for Space Mountain? Like it's Space Mountain, right? Well, we didn't realize that it's Mission 2, so it's different. And it starts out like Rock and Roller Coaster, like you just boom, back in your seat, like just goes real fast. And we were like, what is going on? And it went upside down like 3 times.
Wow.
We were so shocked.
That's
Like, did we just
ridiculous.
go down?
What about Autopia? Were you able to get on that one?
No.
It's basically our speedway. It just looks like a very well done speedway. There actually is things to look at when you're driving around on those metal
Right.
tracks.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the front of the park, Main Street. Main Street does look to be a similar size to Disney World's. Is that
Mhm.
comparable or,
Yeah, I mean, it was really similar. There's a city hall, and there's the Emporium, and there's Casey's.
you
So,
didn't get Casey's while you were there?
no.
I think we're gonna have to end this show on that note. I
Mistake
can't
made.
believe. Well, it sounds like you had an absolute blast. If so, let's say the food is probably the one negative you would take away from it. What would you say the overall best thing you took away from going to Disneyland Paris?
Well, I really enjoyed doing the things that weren't at Disney World. So I already talked about Crush's Coaster, which is really cool, and Mission Space or Space Mountain Mission 2, which was really cool. They also had the Ratatouille ride there, which was really cool. You get into like this little mouse car and it's like a 3D kind of thing. And so they make it look like you're like a little mouse like running around amongst like feet and, the bottoms of furniture and stuff. And then you kind of like park your mouse into a spot and then like some like movie like 3D movie kind of thing plays. So it's like kind of half ride and then half show and that was really cool too.
Okay.
I look forward to that. I really do look forward to having that ride, show up in Epcot. That's really going to be pretty tripping if you ask me.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Let's go this way. Would you prefer our Magic Kingdom and our MGM versus Disneyland Paris?
Yeah.
Still.
I mean, it's bigger. Like there's
Yeah.
more to do.
You feel at home, though. We do have a question from our listeners, and I guess I'll ask this because I believe I see Starbucks written on your shirt.
There's nothing a little Starbucks and Disney can't fix.
And where would one obtain a shirt like this?
Amazon.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
People don't buy it. It has Starbucks on it. We do not need to
But
make
there's
any more.
Mickey Mouse on my Starbucks cup.
I mean, that's awesome, but it's still a Starbucks. Would you see any of the parades?
Yeah, actually we did. We saw the one that was in the Magic Kingdom.
How was that compared to anything else you've seen Disney-wise?
It was pretty comparable. There were some like really cool, floats and the princesses, and that was fun. And I saw Goofy, and he's my favorite. So, parade was really cool.
Is there any characters that you might have met that you wouldn't have met in Disney World?
We didn't really see any characters at all.
They weren't really as prevalent as from what I remember you saying before.
They really weren't. Like we saw one tent for like Mickey and Minnie, but the lines were really long. And then we saw Princess Pavilion, but it was like closed for the day by the time we found it. But other than that, like there really were not a lot of character hotspots.
Not just floating around or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Like sometimes you go into the Magic Kingdom and they're right there by the flagpole.
Right.
You'll see a lot of. I like to refer to them as lighter characters. The characters that you don't normally see, like Marie or some of the other other characters and stuff like that. So okay, cool.
So,
Yeah.
Chris, do you have anything else?
Well, I also saw a couple of the of our other listeners also mentioned questions like, did you go anywhere else in Paris? I know you saw the Eiffel Tower. How was the Eiffel Tower?
So at night, it's really cool because there's like lights, and then at the top of the hour, like the lights flash and dance. And I didn't actually go up to the top, but like it was still really pretty, really cool. But during the day, it doesn't look that good. It looks like old pennies. So it's actually not that attractive.
And other people were also asking, did you eat anywhere in Paris that was noteworthy?
So in like the little bus metro station, whatever, I decided to get a croissant, and it was the best croissant I've ever had in my entire life. And then also right outside of the Eiffel Tower, I got a crepe, and they filled it with Nutella, and then they rolled it up and then topped it with like a whole bunch of whipped cream. Oh, that was lovely.
How were the people inside of Paris? Were they friendly, rude, in the middle, typical?
I had only one problem. Like, for the most part, they were all like really nice. But so like I said, I missed our train, like the last train of the night to get back to our hotel. And so we're like, well, I guess taxi. Like we didn't know exactly how to get around. And someone had warned us that they like to overcharge tourists. And so we just like asked a taxi driver like how much he was going to charge us to like drive us back to the hotel. It was like 10-minute drive. And he was like, oh, it'd be like 70 euros, which is approximately $70. And we're like, that's ridiculous. We're not going to take your taxi. Well, he turned it into a we were racist thing, and he like started swinging punches, and then another cab driver like came over and then held him back. And then some really nice lady helped us figure out the bus system, so we took a bus home for like literally a quarter.
Huh.
But
I like it.
that was the only problem we had. Everyone else was really nice.
Well, you know what? You're always going to run into people no matter where you go, whether it's at home or on vacation, that, aren't going to be the nicest people. So, but I'm glad you had an overall good experience. You gave us a lot of information. Chris, do you have anything else you want to, chime in and ask about Disneyland Paris?
It's one of those things where, Virginia's mom and I, we always talk about always wanting to see all the different Disney parks around the world. And, but overall, it would be one of those cases where we probably wouldn't do it as a family. We'd probably do it just she and I after the kids are all outgrown, married, this, that, and the other. I personally don't have a problem with traveling in other countries. It's not like I'm bilingual. I mean, I know two languages, English and bad English. And, the only thing I can really do in Spanish is basically ask, how old are you? Where's the bathroom? And may I have a beer? The basics.
That's all you need, right?
That's all I need. So, but the thing of it is that, I think by seeing how Virginia was able to handle herself, and, granted, Virginia's a pretty well-seasoned traveler. She travels with us in our family vacations. Obviously, she made it to Spain and all these other places within, the lower part of Europe without any issues, because this was more towards the end of her time in Spain. If my daughter can do it, and I say this as a huge compliment to Virginia, of course, if she can do it on her own as a young adult, I would like to think that most adults that have an interest of going to Paris would do themselves, a favor by at least trying out a day or two at Disneyland Paris. And, I think people get nervous about international travel, and there's, for good reason as well. But, it's still one of those cases where it's going to be different. Just like if you go from Walt Disney World to Disneyland in California, things are going to be different. Things are going to be not where you're going to expect them to be. But I think the adage is true. If you're asked, which one do you love the more, which of the parks or which of the locations, it'd be like saying, which of my kids do I love more? I love them both equally. And they have awesome differences that make them unique. Would I love to go to, Disneyland in Tokyo and Shanghai? Absolutely. I would love to do that. In fact, if there's people who are listening that have been to either Shanghai or Tokyo, I would love to hear your stories, especially for places like Disney Sea, which we don't have or similar. I think that, as much as I was a little nervous of my daughter being all the way around the world, as I said, if she can do it with a friend of hers and they came back home having a great time, give it a try. I really do think people should travel internationally just once, just to, if nothing else, experience what it's like and the culture elsewhere. Just remember, you're visitors in their country. You kind of have to adapt to their rules, their regulations. Like Virginia didn't have her normal cell phone that she has in the United States did not work overseas. So I actually had to get her an unlocked phone with a European SIM card in it, just so that she had a way to call dad just in case. Things like that, just so she was prepared, and we would have to be prepared if we would go over there as well. So there's just some things to take in consideration, but overall, I'm glad she went. I'm glad that she had that opportunity. I hope that one of these days I share in that same opportunity.
It was a really cool experience to have. I really didn't find that language was a problem because all the cast members that I talked to at least spoke at least enough English to answer my question or to be friendly. So it was definitely worth going.
I'm always afraid I'm going to get taken. You never know, man. Someone just comes by in a van, throws a bag over your head, boom, gone. I don't have a Liam Neeson in my family. I don't know anyone with a unique set of skills to come save me. Okay?
I made it, so
just eat more cake because they don't usually kidnap chubby people.
I'm valuable in some countries. What do they say? The bigger you are, the more royal you are. I would have a big hut in some villages. Because I'd have to fit in it.
So in Paris, they have dreams instead of wishes. And so we actually got to stay and watch that. And that was really cool. I would say it was just as good as wishes.
Cool.
Now, there's also one other cool part is that, we have talked about different Disney music, background music or what have you. And I know that we've also talked about many different types of streaming radio stations on the internet that would play music from Disneyland and Walt Disney World. There is one station that I found. Actually, there's a couple, but I know one off the top of my head. If you go to radionomy.com, you can, if you type in Disney as your search criteria, one of the selections that comes up is called Disney Village, which Disney Village is technically, their downtown Disney or their Disney Springs. It's called Disney Village. And they actually play the music that would play in the background, which is, I'll call it, it's kind of poppy, kind of top 40, but it's over France. So you'll hear some music that is in English. You'll hear some music that is in France, or France is, of course it's France, in French. But then you'll also hear some of the announcements in French and so on and so forth. It's actually kind of cool just to get a little taste of, the Disney Village in Paris, even if you're not there. So I usually have that running in the background sometimes, and it's a fun station to listen to. It's over at radionomy.com. Do a Disney search, and it's called Disney Village.
Super, super cool. So, Miss Virginia, thank you for joining us here. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you on, not only because, I get tired of looking at Chris. It's nice to have a new face on.
I mean,
here.
I'm basically just a female, prettier version of him.
That is
So-
true, but you're more tolerable. That's the problem. That's a good thing. But once again, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Have
Thank
me.
you for all the great insight. I know you helped a lot of people, and hopefully one day you can get back there for more than a 1-day trip.
I sure hope so. I'd love to go back.
All right. Well, you have yourself a wonderful evening, Miss.
Thanks, you guys too. Bye.
Bye.
All righty.
Oh, it's
That
always
was
great
fun.
talking with her, and I granted I am a little biased, but it's wonderful talking with her. So
See, even
I-
your
you know-
wife is afraid of getting taken. It's a real dilemma.
Well, I would again, as I said, I would love to go down there or over there. I would love to go over, to Tokyo and to Shanghai. Alex, no joke, guys. We would get separated, and Danny would yell, "Alex, Are you serious? Did that really happen while you guys were out there?"
Maybe not. You never know. People
Uh,
could try to take me.
All I have to say is all Jessica has to do is, I don't know, play the video back maybe, but we won't go there now.
Oh, geez. All right. So, anything else you want to add to this lovely episode that we have?
No, one thing I'm going to go ahead and throw in there, and this is for everybody watching us live, as well as those who are listening to us via our podcast. Just to let you know, we're going to do a few different things, probably starting next week with, we're going to have a little bit of that. We're going to continue our trivia segment, and we're also going to talk a little bit more about different Disney news during each of our upcoming shows. It won't be like a long segment or anything like that. But we really would like to try to keep everybody up to date with different news and events that are Disney related. And of course, you'll get our 2 cents at the same time. And then, of course, we're working on our topics of the day. And so I hope everybody is just really excited about what's coming up. Even though we're going to only be doing 2 shows live, we are going to also do our recorded programs as well in the middle of the week, or I should say they'll be released in the middle of the week. They are going to be podcast only. So these changes are only going to be for a short period of time while we deal with the very busy holiday season. And so we'll reassess everything after the first of the year. And of course, we'd love your feedback. Go ahead and give us any feedback that you might have. You can drop us a line over at the WDW community. You can send us an email at behindthearspodcast@gmail.com. And Danny's got the big green alien from Toy Story. That is just so cool. I really like that. It just goes to show that, listen, we don't have to grow up. It's as simple as that. So, but we've got some good things coming up, even though the holiday season is going to be busy. So there you go.
Well, I know Carol want to know where you purchase your merchandise. This was Amazon. No, eBay. Originally, the first one was in the park, and then I ripped his antenna off. This one, I got it on eBay for like 47 cents. Great deal. This is from wrong way. This dude is from the 90s, so I don't even know. I found a tag on him. Where's the year? I forgot where I found the year on it, but it's definitely from the 90s. He's old. He's an old guy, so yeah. Good luck finding this dude. I don't think you can get him anymore, but most of our stuff just comes from Disney.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I end up getting, a lot of it's from the Disney store. A lot of it's from the parks. If I see something on eBay or Amazon, I'll do that as well. But I would rather actually, get it directly from the source. That way I know I'm getting a genuine piece. Oh,
sorry. Carol want to know Behind the Ears merchandise. Simply go to Behind the Ears Podcast. Once again, Behind the Ears Podcast.net. Click the shop button and you will be redirected to all the different sites where we have stuff. Pretty sure about to have another sale So get ready for a sale. If it might be on sale right now, I forgot if I said it for a sale or not. My apologies.
Yeah, the sale stuff, just let everybody know, when they go on sale, we don't set those sale prices. They do that automatically. So by all means, we don't even know really when they're going on sale. They just say, generally it's going to go on sale sometime next week. And then all of a sudden, boink, on sale. So that's just what got to let everybody know.
So with that being said, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast, Instagram Behind the Ears Podcast, Twitter Behind the Ears PC. Don't forget to join our Disney page called WDW Community. Rate and review us on iTunes. That's a big one. No one's really done that one in a while. That would be appreciated. You could always subscribe and like our YouTube videos as we put more and more up there. Yeah, that's really it. Go become a VIP member, and head on over to the VIP show if you aren't already. That will be starting here in a few minutes on Streaming the Magic VIP. With that being said, y'all, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Have a great weekend. Make sure you tip your waitresses. Call a taxi if you need a ride. Drink the cranberry juice. And as always, have a wonderful weekend. I'm Uncle Danny. I'm signing out.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Hey, while you're also rating and reviewing the show, just to let you know, you can find us now over at iHeartRadio. You can find us on TuneIn Radio. You can find us through Alexa. You can find us through your Google Play Assistant or your Google Assistant or Google Play Music. Also, subscribe to the show no matter how you get it. And that way you get all the shows no matter what. You miss a video? No problem. You miss a podcast episode? Hey, it'll automatically download for you. Subscribe. It actually really helps us a lot. So I'll tell you what, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us tonight. And by all means, until we meet again, you have a magical day. Take care.